In this video, I'm going to show you how to crochet the lace bands that are part of this crochet tote design. So these lace bands consist mainly of 3 rounds. So this first round is double crochet V shapes, alternating with single crochets, and there are chain 2s in between everything. So there are chain 2s underneath there. And then the round after that is where you do sets of 3 puff stitches in each of these V shapes, and that creates this lovely textured round. And then the third round is the transition round where you start double crochets so that you can get into the double crochet sections. So these are double crochets into each of these chain spaces, and that's how you transition from the lace back into the solid double crochet rounds. So let me show you how to do this first round now. So to begin this first round, as we start each lace band, you start with the chain 5. Now the chain 5, the first 3 chains of the chain 5 mimics a double crochet, and then this chain 2 counts as a chain 2. Because what I'm doing right now is doing the very first V shape, like you see here. So in order to complete that V, I'm going to work a double crochet into that same space where the slip stitch was done when I completed that previous round. So I'm doing a double crochet right in there. And now you see this is my V shape. So between the V shapes and the single crochets are chain 2s. So I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to skip 2 stitches. So just be careful here because it's easy to miss this one. But here was the chain 3 that is considered the first stitch of this round. Now I'm going to skip this one, and then that next stitch I do a single crochet. Chain 2 in the skip 2. Next stitch is going to be a V shape. So the V shapes are double crochet, chain 2, and a second double crochet into the same stitch. So what I just did with the chain 2 single crochet, chain 2 V stitch, that's going to be my repeat that I do all the way around. So let me show you how to do it again. Chain 2, skip 2, single crochet, chain 2, skip 2 V shape. So 1 double crochet, chain 2, another double crochet in the same stitch, and there's my V. So there's 1 repeat, and now here's my second repeat, and now I'm going to keep going all the way around. Let me show you one more. Chain 2, skip 2, single crochet, chain 2, skip 2, V stitch. So continue that all around, and then I'll show you what to do once you get back over here. So now I've done the V stitches and the single crochets all the way around, and I'm about to finish that first round for this lace band. So after this last V stitch, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets remaining on this round, this is how you finish. You do a chain 2, skip 2, 1 single crochet, chain 2, your V is already here. So you're going to finish this round by counting 1, 2, 3, slip stitching into the 3rd chain of the chain 5. So that's right here. Slip stitch, and that finishes the round. So now you'll see that V there. So round 2 of the lace insert, you start by slip stitching into this chain 2 space because you need to move the hook over. So first do that. And then you'll see this is what we're doing. We're doing all these puff stitches just into the V stitches. We're skipping right over the single crochets. And you'll see we'll be doing that all the way around. And then each puff stitch is separated also by a chain 2. So let me show you how that's done. To get started, the first puff will kind of be a half or partial puff because I need to first chain 2 to get the hook up to the right height. And then here I'm going to do a puff stitch, which is very similar to a double crochet, but you kind of collect loops on your hook. Let me just show you. So just like a double crochet, you yarn over, you're going to insert the hook. And in this case, we're going to work directly into this chain 2 space, into the V. So, and then yarn over and pull a loop through. Now, with puff stitches, you're going to elongate that pull through. So it's kind of the same height. Let me do it again real quick. Okay, so I had chain 2. I'm kind of starting off like a double crochet. So yarn over, inserting the hook into the space, yarning over and grabbing that loop. And normally you stop here and you finish double crochet, but this is a puff stitch. So I'm going to raise this last loop that I pulled through to the basic height of the chain 2. And you'll see why that matters in a second. So now I'm going to do it again. So yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull the loop through, and make it a little bigger so they're kind of all the same height. So these strands are going to make up my puff. So I'm done with this one since it's the very first puff stitch I'm doing. So to finish this off, yarn over, pull through all the loops on your hook. And so that is my first finished puff stitch. So now you need to chain 2. Let me show you a full puff stitch, because if you can see from these other lace bands, you're going to be doing 3 puffs into each V shape and then move on to the next set of 3 puff stitches. So let me finish this set. So here's a real puff stitch. So it's kind of like 3 partial double crochets. So yarn over, insert the hook, same V, space, yarn over, pull the loop through, raise the height a little, yarn over, pull the loop through, raise the height, yarn over, pull the loop through. Okay, and then I take a pause here and I make sure they're all kind of around the same height. Yarn over, pull through everything. So here's another thing. After I yarn over, I can't just pull the hook this direction. I have to pivot it down so that the hook can snag the yarn and easily go through all the holes, all the loops on the hook without catching on anything. So the last one is the hardest to get through. There you go. And then chain 2. So let me do one more puff of this set to show you. So yarn over, same space, V space, yarn over, pull through and raise it, yarn over, pull through, raise it, yarn over, pull through, and raise it all to the same height. So you can see I take a moment, make sure they're all uniform looking, yarn over, pivot your hook a little so you can get through all 7 loops on your hook. So that is my first set of 3 puff stitches. And then between the sets, I'm only going to do a chain 1. So now I'm going to skip over this space, this chain 2 space, this single crochet, this chain 2 space. I'm only going to be working in the spaces of the V's. So here's another set of 3 puff stitches. Yarn over first, insert hook, yarn over, pull through and lengthen, yarn over, pull through and lengthen, yarn over, pull through, lengthen. Make sure they're all kind of the same height. Yarn over, pivot the hook, and pull through everything. 1 puff is done, chain 2. So let me point out a few other technique things. So first, yarn over, insert the hook, pull it through. It's about the same length as the previous puff. Yarn over, pull through, make them look even, yarn over, pull through. Okay, there. So I'm holding pretty firmly onto my crochet right at the base of the puff, and I'm also pretty much holding on tight to the hook. So this is where I'm pulling a little with a little tension to make sure these are all uniform looking. And then when I yarn over and I'm about to pull, after I pivot the hook, pull everything through, I reposition my left hand and hold these loops or these pieces of yarn steady so that I have the most control. Now the other thing is I'm kind of bunching all these 7 loops on my hook so I can try to get it through in one swipe. So pivoting the hook, and if I hold on nicely, I should be able to go all the way through. Okay, so that's some tips that'll hopefully help you complete a puff stitch. Chain 2. Okay, so there's 2. I need 1 more into this V shape. Yarn over, pull through, raise it. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. After 3 times, now finish the puff. Yarn over, pivot. Position yourself so you can pull straight through. Chain 1 between the sets. I'll show you one more time. Yarn over, insert hook into the next V-stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Okay. Finish this puff, chain 2, another puff, okay. Yarn over, pivot, hold on tight, pull all the way through. 1, 2, last puff of this set. Sometimes this ends up being done. See, I went through the first 6 loops, and then I stop and make sure I get through that last 7th one. As long as you get through all, it doesn't really matter. Chain 1, and that's the end of that little set. So for this second round of the lace insert, it's all these puff stitches all the way around. So let me finish up the round, then I'll show you how to finish it. So now I've gone all the way around and I'm finishing up the second round of this lace insert. I've done my last set of 3 puff stitches, and I'm going to do the chain 1, which separates all these sets. And to close up this round, I want to join to the top of this puff, which technically is the chain 1 that you did right after you close the puff. So it's right here on top. So I'm going to slip stitch into that. And now I've joined the round and finished round 2. Now on to round 3 of this lace. So that's round 1, 2, 3. Now round 3 is a bunch of double crochets separated by chain 1s in between. So basically we're going to double crochet into every space. Here's a chain 1 space, a chain 2 space, a chain 2 space, a chain 1 space. So all these spaces between puffs will have a double crochet in it, and then in between you chain 1. So let me show you how to do that. So first, in order to get this round started, I want to move the hook over to this first space. So I'm going to slip stitch into it. That just shifts me over. And then I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that chain 4 is basically a double crochet and a chain 1. So now I need to double crochet into the next space, which is this chain 2 space between puffs. It's just a regular double crochet and chain 1. Double crochet into the next space, which is a chain 1 space here. Chain 1, and keep going. So double crochet in the next space, chain 1, double crochet into the next space, chain 1. And we're going to do this all the way around. So just be really careful you don't miss a space, because on the round right after this, we're going to go back to solid double crochet, and we have to make sure we have the correct number of stitches all the way around in order for the handles and everything to work out and for the tote to be uniform in width. Okay, so that's the pattern we're doing on this round, and I'm going to go all the way around and show you how to close this up. So this is where you're at after you finish all your double crochets and chain 1s, and you've now worked into that last chain 1 space, and you're about to come across the chain 4 at the beginning of this round. So after your last double crochet and your chain 1, Now to close this round, count 3 chains up on the chain 4 at the beginning and slip stitch into that 3rd chain. There you go. That completes this round. So there's the 3 rounds of the actual crochet lace. Now this next round is where you return back to doing double crochets all the way around. So it's kind of a transition round. So this is how you do that. Chain 3. So that acts as a double crochet. And now basically you double crochet into every chain 1 space and every double crochet. And that way when you go all the way around, it's one solid band of double crochets. So let me show you. Double crochet into the space, double crochet into the stitch, into the space, and into the stitch. So basically do that all the way around, even to this very last chain 1 space. And when you're done with this round, slip stitch to the 3rd chain at the beginning, just like you were doing for all these double crochet rounds.